Welcome to Cord Cutting today for August 17th, 2019. This is the show where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting right now and give you my opinion on them. If you want to learn more about these stories, come up with your own opinions, check out the show notes down below. I'll put a link to each story so you can read about them. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. And they're all in the order I cover them, so feel free to check that out to see about jumping forward in the video to find what you want to hear about. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. We post videos every single day about the world of cord cutting, hopefully helping you break free from the high-cost cable TV. And by liking and subscribing to these videos, you help us by letting YouTube know you enjoy what we're doing here. Real quick before we get into the news, don't forget we have a giveaway going on. You can win a Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K, the newest and most powerful Fire TV on the model or on the market right now, and $50 worth of Sling TV gift cards. This giveaway was given to us by Amazon. They have put this whole kit together. It comes with some Amazon swag, like a confetti popper, nothing major there. But check it out. There's multiple ways to enter, like visiting us on Facebook, subscribing to us on Twitter, subscribing to the email list, and more. You don't have to do all, but the more you do, the more entries you get. So link in the show notes down below for the giveaway. All right, let's jump into our first news story before we answer some questions about other cord cutting stories from the past week you've had questions on. The first news story is, according to a report from Moffett-Nathanson, Craig Moffett, which we talked about yesterday with his comments on DirecTV, he released his full report that looks at the current state of live TV streaming. According to him, Hulu has added about 300,000 subscribers in the second quarter of 2019 calendar year. According to Disney, since Hulu is now owned by Disney, and majority of, that's technically the third quarter of Disney's earnings. So keep that in mind because they have a weird calendar system. But this will mean that Hulu now has about 2.4 million subscribers, just behind Sling TV's 2.47 million subscribers. So keep a close eye on this. At this rate of growth, because Sling TV's growth has slowed, it's still happening, but less than 100,000 in the second quarter of 2019. Hulu will become the largest live TV streaming service in the United States. It could have already happened, for all we know. But it most likely will happen this quarter, assuming the rate of growth continues. I don't see anything here that's really going to change that anytime soon. This does line up with a lot of reports we've been hearing that Hulu's growth has been accelerating. Disney's only real comment about Hulu's live TV growth, because they haven't been breaking out the numbers of live TV subscribers versus on-demand recently, was that Hulu is the fastest growing live TV streaming service in the United States. So I'd love to know what you think. Does it surprise you that Hulu will be the largest this year if this trend continues? A lot of people are like, well, it doesn't have the NFL network, and that is true, but that doesn't seem to have slowed them down. Definitely seems that Hulu has found a working formula to say, hey, we're going to take our on-demand customers, try to talk them into adding the live TV, and go from there. Plus, if you really look at it, if you're already a Hulu customer with on-demand, Hulu with live TV is only about $40 compared to YouTube and PlayStation Vue and more at $50 or more. So this is Hulu does have a little bit of a price help there for all the people who are already Hulu with on-demand subscriptions. So I'd love to know what you think. Leave us a comment. We're watching this closely. If it happens, we can confidently say it happened. We'll post about it. There is a benefit to being the largest. When you're the largest, you can kind of set the tone for the industry a little bit. And Disney has definitely made it clear that they intend to invest in Hulu. So I'm going to be very interested to see what happens in the long run. All right, so that's the breaking news of the day. As this being Saturday, we always look back and answer some questions or go over things that we've talked about throughout the week. That's all your questions. Now, I try to answer a lot of questions on YouTube here and there when I can. Fortunately, I'm on vacation, so I haven't been able to do it quite as much this week. But don't be afraid to leave questions down below. I do read them, and sometimes I answer them here. Well, one of those stories is the fact that scammers are targeting Fire TV and Fire TV stick owners. And a lot of people have questions about this. So what's been happening is when you Google like Fire TV, tech support, or other Fire TV terms, instead of coming to Amazon, you're getting a third-party website. Now, some of these websites are very legitimate tech supports, just like you got that computer shop down the street from your home or in your town somewhere, where they say, hey, well, if you pay us, we'll fix your computer or other electronics devices. That's fine. That's a legitimate service that many people are offering. The problem comes in when some of these websites try to pretend that they're Amazon and they're not, Or they try to convince you the only way to use your Fire TV is if you pay them a subscription fee, or you pay them to do something that doesn't really need to happen. This is where you need to be very careful with all technology. And this is not exclusive to Roku, which has had these scams in the past, or the Fire TV and other companies. You need to make sure you're actually talking to the right people. Sometimes they will even, Roku had this where companies were even buying domain names with the word Roku in it. Roku and others have been cracking down on that, but there's still many of these out there, so keep that in mind. And don't be afraid. I mean, there are legitimate companies out there that will help you for a fee. That's a perfectly legitimate, good business. My only thing when I call them a scam is when they try to mislead you into paying for things you don't need, or they try to make you believe the only way to use your Fire TV or the only way to use your Roku is if you pay them a subscription or a huge upfront fee. That's where you need to be careful, so keep that in mind. But as always, Google is a good tool. You do just sometimes need to be careful because it doesn't always recommend the right thing. So keep that in mind, because sometimes it may link to a legitimate website, or it may link to somebody who's trying to game Google a little bit. So keep that all in mind. Have you ever had an experience like this? Let us know your story of a scam that you may have almost fallen into, whether it be a tech support scam like this or others around the Rokus, Fire TVs, Apple TVs, and more. Your story may help somebody else. All right. Earlier this week on Monday, we were the first to report about Frndly. Frndly is a new live TV streaming service from some of the people behind Sling TV, and even I think CenturyLink's service. Some of the staff there used to work at CenturyLink's old live TV streaming service. This new service includes like the Game Show Network, the Weather Channel, Hallmark channels, and more, starting at $5.99 for SD, all the way up to $10 depending on the package. So it's still in the early launch phase. They haven't officially announced it, but they did start quiet, I guess. If this was a restaurant, we would have called it a soft open, right? They're open, they're having customers, but they haven't had the big grand finale yet. But right now it includes channels like Hallmark Movies, Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, Hallmark Drama, and the Hallmark Channel, the Weather Channel, QVC, Outdoor Channel, Baby First, I believe the Game Show Network, Sportsmen, World Fishing Network, and more, all included, starting at $5.99. This is a pretty good deal for people who wanted the Weather Channel or want to add Hallmark channels very cheap. I know a lot of people come fall will be like, hey, I want the Weather Channel, or I want the Hallmark's Movies Anywhere channel, whether it be hurricane season or all the Christmas movies come to Hallmark. This could be a great option. I hope this becomes a trend of smaller and smaller, very micro-focused bundles, right? This is a micro-focused bundle for people who want a specific type of channels. And I love it. Now, a lot of people have questioned, is it legitimate? We have at Core Cars News talked on phone with some of the people who work there, and I've known some of these people since they worked at other companies in the industry. They're definitely they're very clear that they have the rights. They definitely have the background to say they have the rights to this kind of content. It'll be very interesting to see what happens here as we try to learn more about this. Now, again, we're going to have to wait for the official full launch, but it has apps for their new service have been appearing on multiple devices. So I would say give it a try. At this moment, to the best of my knowledge, it is. Again, I would imagine Roku, Amazon, others have been doing more due diligence to try to make sure these services that they add are more legit. I know Apple and some are very notorious for needing a lot of proof before they'll put your app on the service that you have the rights to that content. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this. Have you tried Frndly? If you have, leave us a note down below. I'd love to hear from you on what you think about this. All right, next story up of the day. CBS Content will be coming to Pluto TV after the merger. A lot of people saw this story and wanted to know when is CBS Content going to come. CBS and Viacom, let's start there, have agreed to remerge into a new company called Viacom CBS. Viacom CEO will head it. CBS's CFO, Chief Financial Officer, will be the new CFO. So a little bit of a merged leadership. It seems like Viacom may have a little bit more say in the future of this company. Is that good for cord cutting? We'll have to wait and see. But CBS, part of the earnings or the call announcing this is Viacom and CBS announced that after the merger, they will add CBS content to Pluto TV. Again, this is probably a lot like the Viacom content, or like, hey, we have all these movies and all these TV shows sitting in our vault, not making us money really. Why not take these old programs, create channels on Pluto TV and stream it? Doesn't really, talking not to the Pluto TV team, but talking to people who run similar services, who also own some content, it really does not cost them a lot of money to say, hey, we're going to take content we already own rights to. We're going to throw some ads against it and make it free to stream. So I would expect more and more of that to become more popular with like Pluto TV once CBS is merged in with Viacom. When will that happen? We don't know. The problem here is, you got to get federal regulations to approve it. You have to get there, maybe even a lawsuit, one of those pops up. Shareholder votes, all kinds of stuff have to happen before a merger can happen. So I wouldn't expect this anytime soon. Could be months, could be a year or more from now. The good news for cord cutters, sounds like Pluto TV will continue to remain free and that more content will be coming to it. Now, Viacom did kind of hint at the possibility that there is some synergy between like CBS All Access and maybe some Viacom content, bring it all together. We'll have to see where that goes. My question to you is, what programming from CBS would you like to bring to Pluto TV? I know we would all love the new stuff, but realistically, like the old early edition, anybody remember that show? What about older CBS brand content that they still own the rights to appearing on Pluto TV? I think that's great. I think that's a great option for them and something I hope they take advantage of. So I hope that answers all your questions on when and what would be included. Let me know what you think. And the last story up of the day, one I ran this week as a warning, because this is becoming a bigger and bigger problem I'm hearing from people. Your Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, PlayStation Vue, Sling TV, DirecTV Now, you name it account may have been compromised. And a lot of people posted about how they were worried that, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, etc. were the ones being compromised. We have no evidence of that. I don't believe that's what's happening. What's more happening here is your passwords are ones that you use on multiple sites, right? I have a password and a junk email account that when I sign up for like a website and I either just want to buy something one time or I, for instance, want to leave a comment on a comment system on a post or a forum page, I just have this junk email and password I use because it's not important. Well, it so happened that junk email and password also used to be my Hulu account, right? Well, I went in and one day and I noticed I have all the people watching stuff I didn't watch, and somebody changed the location of my TV service and all kinds of stuff on Hulu. Turned out somebody had found my username and password, probably because one of those websites I used somewhere was compromised, and they take these emails and then they use them across multiple different services to see what they can get. Then they turn them around and sell these emails to people for a few bucks and go. So you definitely need to watch. Are shows appearing in your recently watched that you didn't watch? Are profiles appearing that you didn't create? If that's happening, change your password. Like they always say, never use the same password that you use on your bank account anywhere else. Would highly recommend you start considering services like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon to be a password for those that you're not using on other websites, because it's a big business to steal passwords. Reports of millions of combinations of emails and passwords being published online for sale have been popping up as malware has actually stopped trying to use your computer to send spam. Instead tries to use your computer to monitor for passwords and email combinations that they can then turn around and sell for like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon. So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to change your password if you think there is something happening. I know it's a little bit of a pain, but it's worth it. But to address everybody's concerns that Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon have been compromised because this is happening more often, I don't think so. I think this comes down to people having the same passwords forever, using them on many different websites. It's a lot easier probably to hack a website that may have a few thousand users than one with hundreds of thousands of users, because the ones with hundreds of thousands of users has a full-time team trying to protect it, versus somebody with a hobby website that gets a few thousand users every month. They're probably trying, but they probably don't have the same quite technology and ability to protect their account that the other ones do. So keep that in mind. Hope that answers your question. Real quick, a couple reminders. A lot of news coming next week, so don't forget to check back. We'll be back here on Monday. Special video tomorrow. And don't forget about subscribing to or entering our giveaway. In the show notes down below, we have a link to the giveaway for a Fire TV Stick 4K and $50 of Sling TV gift cards. Well, I hope you have a great week. I will see you back on Monday. Thanks for your support. Take care, everybody.